Paul, we are continuing with our discussion, and the next stock on the agenda is one that has performed very well for shareholders to date, and that is Brimstone.
Right, so it's a black-owned and managed investment company, Bronwyn. It's basically got stakes in financial services and healthcare. Those are the big ones. But it also has stakes in the Western Cape-based clothing industry and in the fish business, which is what we're talking about tonight. It's a 20% stake Brimstone has in Oceana, which we were talking about before the break. And it also has a controlling interest in a smaller operation in the fishing business called Sea Harvest, also located there on the Western Cape. Now, it's important to note that Brimstone has two classes of shares. It's got the Brimstone N's and the ordinaries, both of which trade on the JSE. So to get to the market cap, you've got to add the two together. That brings you to a fairly respectable 2.3 billion rand. The directors reckon, however, that the net asset value of this group is 4.6 billion rand, quite a lot larger. The price to earnings ratio is not that important in the context of an investment holding company, 4.7. Back to you.
Life Healthcare Group, we have to chat. I know we've been speaking about fishing and obviously Sea Harvest within this stable, but Life Healthcare is one of the biggest assets in the Brimstone stable.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So one could largely see it as a health play, and then it's got a lot of options on other shares. So it's got your options on your Old Mutual, Nedbank, and the option on Tiger brands again. So there comes the cross relationship.
The incestuous relationship between all these stocks.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and Sea Harvest hasn't been a bad performer. And now, as you say, holding 20% of Oceana. So perhaps the second asset play is fishing. So healthcare, fishing, and then you've got your financial services side.
How do you feel about that healthcare exposure? It's done very well for Brimstone. Paul?
Well, it's a fascinating story because Brimstone used to have about 20% of Life Healthcare, and various stages either sold or unbundled those interests. It left, as I can gather, about a 5.5% stake of Life Healthcare Group. But remember, Life Healthcare, since it relisted on the stock market, has been fantastically successful and now almost has a 30 billion rand market cap. So that stake, even if it is only 5%, is worth about 1.5 billion rand. And that's partly the reason why this entity appears to have a substantial NAV in excess of its value. I like the guys in the management team, Vestact. I like Jakes Carwell. He's been a great servant of South Africa over the years. The fact of the matter is this is an empowerment entity which has taken stakes, non-managed stakes typically, in other groups, and that's an interesting land grab. And I think over the years ahead they're going to reorganize the portfolio, and it's quite likely that they could unlock a bit of value in the process.
Well, Craig, we are running out of time on this one, so I'm going to go straight to hot or not on Brimstone.
I actually think it's hot. There's quite a lot of potential. I think in terms of what they're doing with Sea Harvest, they've just brought Taste, which has Fish and Chip Co. I can see things happening in the cross relationship, so I'm going to say hot.
Hot or not on Brimstone, Mr. Theron?
I thought he was going to say they were sizzling hot, you know, like the fish that they're busy serving on the Taste Holdings menu. Look, I am generally not...
We want more adjectives, Craig.
I'm generally not a big fan of investment holding companies, and I'm less of a fan even more when they're not managed stakes. I don't particularly like the option structure with the financial services industry interests. So they've got Aon, they've got Old Mutual, they've got Nedbank, they've got Lion of Africa, but they're not typically ungeared. I know that they're working on the portfolio to reduce indebtedness and unlock value, but I think unless you really know the group quite well and you have special insights into where the value lies, I don't think it's the sort of investment that people can basically buy and fall asleep and check in again in 10 years' time. So I'm going to say not hot for now.
Did you miss my question? Hot or not?
Not hot.